In this video, I want to talk about a potential short setup for Ethereum, about the possibility of an Ethereum local top being in, and how I'm personally looking to play this. So let's dive straight into this. So Ethereum currently is trading at 1971. It actually hit the $2,000 level over the last 12 hours or so, what we got. So the reason why I want to break this down is because it's following a very clean range setup. So if you haven't watched that yet, I actually have a tutorial here on YouTube. I will link to it at the top here in the description down below about ranges. And this is a very simple, repeatable setup. What happens is you define the range by finding the low and then the high of the reaction after that low. So in that case, it would be the low here from June 2022, the reaction high over here to August 2022. And then the rule is whichever side it sweeps first, so whether it's the high or the low, once it gets back into the range, then we look for a trade in the opposite direction. Okay, so basically what this means, if we take the brush over here, is like if it were to sweep the low and then get back into the range and then go up, we basically take a target to the high with a stop at the low there. And the opposite also. Now, as you can clearly see, what we have is we did get a sweep of the high over here back in April, just after the Shanghai upgrade release, and it dropped back into the range. Okay, that is the rule. It sweeps it and it drops back into the range. If it doesn't drop back into the range, it just continues going and it's not a trade potentially. So now we have this setup where it dropped back into the range. Not only did it drop back into the range, but what often happens is after that drop back, we get a retest of the range high, or a retest of the Fibonacci golden pocket, or a retest of the diagonal that it broke. And in this case, it literally has all three at this point in time, which makes it the most possible confluence for the strongest case for a potential short right now at that $2,000 level, with a stop at the high over here and targeting potentially the lows, which I know would mean Ethereum back to $900. It sounds a bit crazy. That's just what the setup was suggesting. If this was any other chart, whether it was a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, it doesn't matter if it was whatever, Ethereum, Bitcoin, some other chart. Basically, this is the setup, and that's what the setup would say. Forget about the fact that it is Ethereum on a larger time frame. Okay, so just purely from a textbook style range setup, this gives all the criteria for a short position targeting potentially the range low, which is down below $1,000 once again. So this would be an example of the setup. The entry would be right about there at the Fibonacci golden pocket, which we hit last night. I did share this trade setup in advance before it made this move up in the VIP Discord. So if you're looking to join and get these insights and ideas, the link is in the description down below if you want to join us in Discord. But basically, I'm sharing this here now, and we're going to see how this ends up playing out. So if I'm wrong and this is not bearish and it continues going higher, we will see it'll blast past the range high and it'll continue probably past this high over here, in which case the risk is managed. Okay, that's always a thing when you're taking any sort of trades, especially with leverage. You know what you're risking. Usually with futures, with leverage trades, I like to risk 1% in order to make whatever on the upside. So in this case, it's a 1 to 9 risk reward, which is a very, very favorable trade based on a very, very proven setup. Okay, it's not 100% setup. Sometimes it's wrong. But in this case, like I said, we've got all the criteria for the confluence for a potential entry. And that would basically mean if we're wrong, I lose 1%, and if we're right and it goes all the way back down, I'd make 9%, and on top of that, probably hedge my spot holdings and so on and so forth. If this was a top, you know, we're looking at May, sell in May and go away. We just had the lunar eclipse happen on Friday, May the 5th. We are seeing an absurd amount of euphoria in meme coins like Pepe that went from $0 to $1.5 billion in market cap in less than 30 days. We're seeing lots of other euphoria around all these shit coins. I mean, there is a fundamental, even just sentiment-wise, reason that this is potentially some sort of local top and that we are going lower. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to go down for sure, but I'm sharing this setup with you in real time. I even called it in advance in Discord, like I said before. So the move back up to the range high. So we will see If it ends up going down, you know, this is a trade I'm looking for. If it ends up being wrong, that's perfectly okay too. You know, I'd love it to continue going up and hopefully it goes back to 3,000 or 4,000. That would be great. But in this case, you know, I think it just is a setup that has perfect criteria right now. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter. I would take the setup over and over again because look at the risk reward. It's 1 to 9, meaning that when I'm right, I make 9 times what I lose when I'm wrong. So this can literally be wrong 5, 6, 7 times, and I would still be profitable if I take 1 to 9 risk reward setups every time, and it probably works out more often than not. So, in my opinion, this is a good setup. It's not financial advice. I could be wrong. I'm saying that here now, but based on the setup, this is a setup I would personally take every single time. If you want to know where to trade this or how to trade this, personally, I trade on BYBIT. So if you want the maximum deposit bonuses, use the link in the description down below. You can get up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses. Obviously, there's terms and conditions, but that is where it's possible to trade cryptocurrencies with leverage. And if you want to know really how this all works, I've got a complete course about it. It's part of my VIP membership. The link is in the description down below. So not only do you get access to the Discord and my own insights and setups, but you also get access to a complete 40+ lesson about technical analysis and trading that will show you exactly what I've shown you here in this video about these kind of setups, how to trade, how to manage risk, all of that. So if you want that, click the link in the description down below, join us in VIP, and you will get access to all of this. So let's see how this ends up playing out. Let's look back at this in a month or a couple months from now and see, you know, was this right or was it not? Either way, manage your risk as always, make your own decisions. It's not financial advice, and I will see you in the next video.